it's the same argument I have for doing strength rounds for bodybuilding, where people say, well, it's, 8 to 12 or 15 to 20. Okay, well, if I go down and do a 4 to 6 and get my strength up and take that base strength and apply it to the longer ranges after that phase, there will be muscle growth. So if I'm doing squats, I'm stuck on squats and I start throwing box jumps and stuff in there, just not enough to burn the muscle out, but just enough to start practicing. And I get box jumps with weight on my back. That explosiveness will transfer to a better squat, which will transfer to more muscle growth.
Good answer.
Yeah.
That's
Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Paradise Pump. And I'm back with my co host, Mel. She's back on the
I'm
job.
back. Yeah.
So, what's going on, Mel? What were you? What were you doing?
I was rolling some dice there in Las Vegas.
Oh, nice.
It was nice. It was a little gathering for my sister's pre-birthday celebration. She's turning 60, so it's pretty worthy of a celebration, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
60.
So I
Big
found
6
out
0. Yep.
that the Rio has $3 craps from 3 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Hmm.
That was lots of fun.
I don't gamble, but that's pretty cool. I don't
Yeah,
like to lose my money.
we avoided them 15, 20, $25 tables. So, $3 goes a long way when you're playing craps. So
Oh, yeah. $3.
that was fun.
Awesome. Well, I know we were talking earlier. We're gonna we're gonna start off talking about basically, as you age and your training and talking about body weight training. A lot of, if you want to call it calisthenics, people call it, or just body weight movements added with weights. I think you can do both. And because I've been doing this like pull up and dip program, and then I got Mel to do it today. Just a little mini taste of it.
That was not a taste. That was
Yeah.
a full throttle
Yeah.
down your throat.
Yeah. No, it was good. It,
Oh,
it was, but so, because my whole thing on it is, especially as we're getting older, I'd say, 40 plus, right? Let's just say, let's throw that number out there. Um, Adding in more body weight stuff. And this isn't necessarily for bodybuilding, but bodybuilders can do it. I always did pull-ups when I was competing. That was one of my main staples for lats. I would do pull-ups. And so even when I was competing, I was getting a solid, on average, 15, sometimes 20 reps. When my first set, you know what I mean? I could do about 20 sometimes, depending on if I was tired or not. And I'd always get around 10 though for my last set, maybe my third set. So I was pretty strong considering I was, pulling, I was about 240, 245. I could still get about 10 to 15. And that's really good. Um, and because it's one of those things, pull ups, dips, push ups, you have to, even if you're strong on the pull down, on the rows, if you're not doing the pull ups, it gets difficult. It's one of those things you have to be doing them because sometimes you can do a lot of back exercises, barbell rows, everything, and then go to a cable row and you're still really strong on the cable row, even though you haven't done it for 2 months. But the pull-ups isn't like that. I really believe, you gotta do the pull-ups and then dips. Dips are not as hard, but definitely think dips are great to add in. And you actually agreed with me, right? To maybe start adding in more body weight stuff,
absolutely. I
right?
mean, I'm just saying because I am getting up there in the ranks of age,
Yeah, that's right.
but you'd be surprised. I mean, the uh, development that you do acquire from just pull-ups, the back development, if you, in comparison to just trying to reach target those muscles by doing the conventional weightlifting, I mean, it's kind of I see night and day. There's so much more development that could be made by just doing pull-ups, weighted pull-ups, if you start to get advanced in that as well too, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So today Mark put me through his little calisthenic workout. I felt
Hey, you did it though.
I did.
You actually did all the reps.
That was pretty rough. I've felt muscles in my body I hadn't felt for a long ass time,
Yeah.
turn right back on again. I'm like, "Oh, this really sucks." And this is my own body weight. Mind you, my body weight right now, I'm probably about 138 or so,
Mhm.
140.
Okay.
I, I felt like a fucking metric ton.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's interesting when you haven't done it for a while. And, and even push-ups. I like to do push-ups, not just flat on the floor, with my hands. I'll do those push-up bars where they have the perfect push-up. I have one of those in here where they can
Mm-mm.
twist. It's pretty nice so you can change the angles as you go. So I like to do that too. I mean, I'll do push-ups on my hands, but I like to throw those things in because the bars you can go even deeper.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to pause a lot towards the very end. My last few reps, I'll kind of pause it, come up, squeeze. So you get some isometric. Because I also feel body weight with some isometric holds are good too. Be able to contract that muscle, hold it in that position, and then come down, stretch. Yeah, I like it. I think, and it's for me, it's a lower risk exercise. So not as high risk of getting injured, right? As compared to say, I don't know, a deadlift or a bench press or something like that, right? Um, yeah, so it's great. And then when you're doing, you can throw in legs too. Because this thing, honestly, if you say you do a pull up and dip combo, you can do that like twice a week, I would say. And then one day could be upper body with that. Start with that, do your upper body. And then the next day you start with that and then do your legs. But you always start with it. So, and then you at least try and add in cardio, one or 2 days of cardio by itself with maybe another day added in on one of your workout days, say something, maybe
That's
leg cardio.
another thing I noticed when I was just doing the assisted pull-ups. Um, I do cardio regularly, but it's kind of on the chill, just heart health, not anything
Right.
specific. No, not trying to do no wind sprints, but I try my best to do a little bit of something to, get my heart going a little. But doing those pull-ups and dips, I
Yeah.
was winded. I was like, holy shit, I'm out of shape.
Right.
That was a eye-opening experience to be like, wow, I thought I was in good standing, but nah, not that great.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that's where the hit cardio comes into play, right?
Hmm.
Because I was telling you that I like to do Tabata cardio. People don't know what that is. It's kind of like you can choose it. It's typically like 20 seconds work, maybe 20 seconds rest, 10 seconds rest, depending. You do about anywhere from 8 to 10 rounds. You can set it up however you want. Everyone's different, but it doesn't typically when you're doing it hard like that, high intensity, you're not going to go say 20 minutes of that. That's not typical. Um, Depends, right? Say it because I've done a row where I do a minute pretty hard. It's about 80%. And then I do a minute of rest. And say I do 10 rounds of that. That's a pretty brutal workout.
Yeah,
That would be like something I would do on its that's the only thing I did for that
that
day.
day.
I wouldn't lift that day, nothing. I would just go in there and I would knock that out. And that one's tough. But I believe like you should have say one day during the week where you do that, where it's just that one hard cardio day, you know, and then you can have those other two cardio days, which they're just lighter. They're more cruising cardio, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever you want to walk, incline walk, you want to row, steady pace, something like that, right? Because people don't realize just how much it taxes your nervous system.
Yes.
If you try to do say 3 days a week of just real hit cardio, um, it gets pretty brutal, especially if you're lifting weights too, say 2 days a week, 3 days a week.
Or
You
you're
get beat up.
contest prepping and you're trying to do hits,
Oh yeah.
your recovery is trash.
You see, I don't recommend hits for contest prep. I really don't. I think it's too taxing on the nervous system. You're dieting already, immune system's low. You should be lifting pretty hard. So to me, that's where most of your energy should be going to is lifting weights. The cardio is a secondary thing, and you're using the cardio just to help burn fat.
See, one of the individuals that I was helping, he was a former track individual, so just to get his heart rate up, he kind of had to do a lot. So
Where
he
were you trying to get it up to? Like what?
like a
Like a
zone three,
130,
yeah,
like a
up there, yeah,
125. Yeah,
just
okay.
to.
Just in the fat burn zone.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
He was so conditioned that it even in his later part of his years that it took a little bit. So where I just was like, if you have to do hits to get your heart rate there, then that's what we got to do because your former life of being a track runner is totally different. So had to do what we had to do.
Yeah, that's obviously somebody very athletic, maybe. Average bodybuilder's not going to be like
Yeah,
that, right?
no.
Average bodybuilder's cardio is not at that level. Right. And it typically you can just incline walk, right? Steady pace
Yeah,
cardio
and your heart
and
gets
your
fired up
heart
real
rate
quick.
gets up to 120, 125. I mean, I think that's for an average person, that's all you need to burn fat typically.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think those are the big ones. Jed, what are your thoughts on the over 40, body weight stuff, man? Have you give it any consideration at all?
I've done it.
Yeah, I mean, are you considering maybe doing a little more of it when you're done with the bodybuilding thing, or do you just like lifting weights, man? Because I know you're up in your 40s now, so
I started putting it in not too long ago. I take it in and out as I feel. Like my joints are hurting real bad and stuff. I don't. I try to train around it. But
mm.
not too long ago, there was a period I was feeling really good, and we were doing the box jumps and
Oh, box
the
jumps.
deficit push-ups with chains around the neck, stuff like that. So when I can do it, I do like to do it. But
Yeah, the box jumps are brutal, dude. Like I don't personally, I used to do box jumps a lot. Even say, I don't know, last like 5 years ago, 5, 6 years ago, I was still doing them. And then now I just don't do them really.
do them with kettlebells. Hold 50-pound
No, like
kettlebells.
I
Hell,
won't even do
no.
them at all, dude. No, I'm not even. I considered it, but ever since I had that Achilles tear and
Mm,
stuff, I was like, I don't know. You know what? I think I'm good. And because if when I do box jumps too, if I did it, I jump and then I step down. I don't jump down. I just jump, step down, jump, step down. I'm not doing the double jumps. You know what I mean? Like too much pressure on my knees and
yeah, with the way that my
yeah.
back's been going on, it's not even a thought in my mind to do box jumps. It's just the pounding. I'm afraid of that. I don't even want to try.
Oh yeah. I mean, and if you miss it, there goes the shins,
It's a
man.
bad day.
Towards the end, I think me and Q were doing um, stiff leg deadlifts from the ground, and we'd superset with the wooden box holding
Mm.
kettlebells.
Ooh.
And after that, we've got like abductors and calves, and it's like the hardest abductor calf round because we're so fucking tired after doing the box jumps and stuff. And it was we enjoyed it. It was fun,
Yeah.
but you do 245, 255 for 7 or 8 reps on stiff leg deadlift, and you gotta do 10 box jumps holding 15, 20-pound kettlebells on each side. Like your ass is worn out after a while.
Oh,
It was fun.
oh yeah. Yeah, that's tough. And because I did do some CrossFit training before, right? I got level 1 cert or whatever, all this stuff. This was years ago because I kind of wanted to see what it was about, and it was really a big thing at the time. It was growing, and then of course there's there's good things, there's bad things, whatever. People have a lot of negative things to say about it, yeah. And but it did help me. I did learn a lot as far as pushing yourself and getting your heart rate up and really working. And one thing that I did learn is, when you get your VO2 max up, when you really push yourself, right? When you really go hard, it doesn't take, you don't need it for very long. You don't need to do that level of work for a long time, especially as you get older. Some people think like they're going to kill themselves. They're going to beat themselves up for a half an hour at this high level of just killing it, right? And like, I don't personally, I don't think you need to. Especially if you're, unless you're competing and it's a different thing. Of course, you're an athlete, then you can do that kind of stuff. Average person, I don't think so. I mean, I think an average person, you can go real hard, real intense, that type of hit workout, whatever you want to CrossFit WOD, that kind of stuff. Maybe 10 minutes at the most. I think that's all you need. I do a lot of 5 minute stuff, real intense. Because the reason being is, and I don't care who you are, if you're not an athlete or you're not competing, if I told you to go balls out, right, and do a Tabata for say 5 minutes, you probably in your mind, you're going to really go hard, right? Because you're going to have those breaks and everything. But if I said, oh, let's do 20 minutes, no, you're going to right away, you may do the first round and be like, whoa, there's no way I can finish this pushing hard. You're going to back off. And the goal is you want to go like 90%, right? So in order to do that, you need to keep it shorter so you can go all out, not stretch it out, and now you're backing down. right? Because you that's just the normal reaction for the average person who's not an athlete and who's not competing. You're just gonna slowly back down and pace yourself. And that's not what you're trying to do.
I do
So
have a question. So, for the people that do enjoy doing that type of workout, calisthenics, and are active competitors in bodybuilding,
mhm.
do you think you have to pick and choose your lane, or do you think that there's a balance that you could have between the both?
If you're a competitive bodybuilder,
Yeah,
um, no. Well, it depends on what level you're trying to compete at. If
state level, not
state
not
level
okay.
shows, I think you can sprinkle some of it in there if you're a competitive bodybuilder. But you definitely still have to put your main focus on the bodybuilding training.
Bodybuilding,
Yes,
right?
bodybuilding training is still probably 85% of your training is going to be bodybuilding training, and you can sprinkle little things in there. I think, yeah, maybe a little bit, but again, maybe state level, right? I think if you're going for national level, forget about it. Like it's all bodybuilding. If you're trying to turn pro, no, I think it's straight bodybuilding all the way. Maybe the fit model girls and bikini girls, they can do some of it because it's not required to have as much muscle. They can get away with it. But any division that's definitely going to need that full round muscle belly, and I feel like bikini is kind of going that way anyway. Yeah, I don't think you can do both really. Again, you can sprinkle something like a short 3-minute thing in there, at the end. Let me do something like that.
Because it is kind of fun, like what Jed was saying.
Yeah.
It
No, it
is,
can be fun. And you can
especially if you have
compete.
a partner. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, you guys can compete.
Yeah.
You guys go back and forth and try and see who's better or whatever. Yeah, it gives it's for me, honestly, it's way better than 30 minutes of walking on the
Yeah.
treadmill. That for me is brutal to me, honestly. I just get so bored, right? So I'd rather just do something short and sweet, knock it out, and gets my heart rate up and I feel pretty good.
Jed, how's about you? That same question. Time and place, or you can integrate both.
I do think if you do some stuff to build some explosiveness, that will, in the long run, transfer to muscle growth. So let's say it's the same argument I have for doing strength rounds for bodybuilding, where people say, well, it's, 8 to 12 or 15 to 20. Okay, well, if I go down and do a 4 to 6 and get my strength up and take that base strength and apply it to the longer ranges after that phase, there will be muscle growth. So if I'm doing squats, I'm stuck on squats and I start throwing box jumps and stuff in there, just not enough to burn the muscle out, but just enough to start practicing. And I get box jumps with weight on my back. That explosiveness will transfer to a better squat, which will transfer to more muscle growth.
Good answer.
Yeah.
That's
Hey, put some thought into it.
that is not. I mean, because it's fun. I mean, it's different. Breaks up the monotony of just being like, 8 to 15 or whatever your exercise regimen is. And like you were saying, 30 minutes of cardio, 45 minutes or whatever your coach got you doing. If you're not into Netflix or podcasting or like whatever, watching videos to take up that time, I mean, yeah, cardio gets boring.
And let's be honest, and this is the thing, I use the term ADHD, right? Whatever. On the treadmill for 45 minutes, you know how brutal that is for somebody you get very anxious, right? You got to get off there. You're just like, you want to do something else. It's hard to do that for that 45 to an hour to stay focused and just walk on that thing. And even if you're watching a
Yeah.
movie, it's like, it's hard to just focus on this movie while you're doing it. So, but I do honestly believe that the steady state cardio is probably the best type of cardio for bodybuilding. I really do believe that. I don't think HIT is better cardio for bodybuilding for fat loss than steady state. I think steady state's better for bodybuilding, just overall. I really do.
And steady state, we're not talking about a walk in the park steady state.
Yeah.
You need to get your heart rate a little bit up there. So
Yeah, you got to be
it's
sweating and
not a
moving.
cruise walk.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You should be, you know what they say, it's you're walking where you can carry a conversation but you don't want to for very
Yeah.
long, but you can. you know, Somebody comes by, you go, "Hey, how's it going?" And you talk for, and you go, "Okay, got bye." Like, because yeah, you need to focus a little bit.
Right.
That's how it should be, right? Should be pretty good. Yeah, and one thing for me now, especially, is I feel great after those workouts. I don't feel beat up. Like I feel tired. I feel like I got a good workout. I sweat, but overall, just the general health, I just feel good. My breathing is good. And yeah, that I feel like I'm in shape. I feel like I could go run, I could do something and it's fine. I could do that. Um, my body is really in touch. And so that for me is a great feeling. Because honestly, when I was bodybuilding and I was lifting weights and all that, I didn't always feel that way. I felt big a lot of times. I felt pretty jacked, but I didn't always feel healthy, right? And that's probably,
Athletic and
and I
limber.
didn't feel athletic and limber all the time. Sometimes I did, depends, especially when it was weird, right? When I dieted down, I felt more athletic, but then I was always tired. So I was lighter, so I felt more athletic, but I was tired. Um, yeah, so again, it's a matter of I think what is your goals? If you're a bodybuilder, then you're going to do bodybuilding. If you're getting older and you want to stay in shape, and even if you're not getting older, if you just want to stay in shape, you want to look good, personally, I think this is the way, this is the route. And this is a long-term thing. And body weight is huge. I think everybody should add some type of body weight exercise into their program.
Yeah,
Something, a
I
few.
agree. I mean, body weight, you got to live with you the rest of your life. You got to
Yeah.
sit up, pick yourself up, do all of those things. And what we talked about out there was pull-ups, push-ups, dips, crunches,
Lunges.
lunges,
Hmm.
whatever. It's all for free.
Yeah. You
You
can
don't
do all
have to
that.
go to the gym. So there's kind of like no excuses. You could do it in the comfort of your own home or in your yard or whatever you got at your local park. I mean,
Yeah, you can do burpees. What is that called? The prison workouts, right? They call these prison workouts now because they,
hmm
they took away the weights. So that's what a lot of these guys are doing, apparently. They love to do burpees too.
it's free.
Burpees is their cardio, right? Because they don't have access to the rower and the treadmills and all that. So they do the burpees, which burpees are brutal. I gotta say, if you do, I like mountain climbers too. Those are pretty tough. Full extension mountain
hmm
climbers, burpees. I don't do burpees a lot, but those are good. Those are good. And just even air squats. Do a lot of air squats. Those are killer. You do, I don't know, 100 straight. See if you can get through 100 straight, like full depth, and not fly through it, like nice pace. So you kind of get the burn going, right? Those are killer. And that's mental too, to get to 100.
Yeah. At that age that you are at now, I mean, would you rather have the aesthetics, knowing that you could probably squat what, 4 plates
Mhm.
before
Yeah, 4 or 5.
with the aesthetics, or knowing that you can do 100 air squats with your own
Now,
body weight? Yeah, no.
personally, yeah, I think the 100 air squats for me now. Because I know what comes with that. I know that the 405, I mean, I used to be able to squat 405, for sets of 20. Like that was pretty typical when I was really bodybuilding and I did squats all the time. But funny thing is, if you go ask a lot of bodybuilders to go, hey, do 100 air squats with me, don't stop, no breaks, just go steady. I don't know. I don't know if a lot of them could. I mean, a lot of them might have to stop. They'll definitely get it done. Then a lot of them will say, well, you can't squat 405 because I can. And I'd be like, that's probably true. I mean, I'm sure I could work to it if I wanted to try and get my squat numbers back up again, but I don't have a desire to. So yeah, so you beat me on the squats, I beat you on the body weight, but in the long term for me, the body weight is more important. Getting up and down, out of the couch, out of the car, walking up the stairs.
Damn, we sound old.
Those these are just basic things, right? And that's the stuff that I don't even think about. Really, honestly, I don't worry about that stuff because I mean we do the stairs every day over here. But I know that for someone who's not in shape and who's not used to training, that's something that they worry about. They worry about, oh, I got to go up those stairs.
daily functional movement
Yeah.
patterns are important. Definitely. I'd rather be functional and athletic than be like, oh yeah, I can still squat 3 plates or whatever I was squatting in my heyday.
Could you imagine um bodybuilder going hypo from fucking air squats? When you said that, that's the first thing I thought of was like all these bodybuilders doing air squats and one sweats and falls over.
They, you know what? They would. A lot of bodybuilders would suffer on that. 100 rep set.
Yeah.
Don't stop. Just go straight. That's the key, right? There's no breaks. You just go steady down and up. There's no pausing. 100 with not one pause in
Or
that.
make them put their back against the wall to where they have to stay straight up
Oh,
too.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's brutal. It is brutal. Let me tell you, if you're not used to doing it, it's not easy. So
I'm gonna try that at home and spare myself a little bit of dignity and
Post
not
it on
yeah,
your Instagram.
yeah. But and then the key to it too, and this is the other side of it, is you want to keep that same depth the whole time, right?
yeah.
Because sometimes what'll happen is people start going and they get to about 40 or 50 and they start going shorter and shorter and shorter, you know? So
Not
you want
even
to keep
breaking parallel
and break it
anymore.
parallel or so you want to keep the same depth. There was a thing where they used to do, and this was, I don't know, where you touch the floor with your hands. So you
Really?
squat and you kind of just do this like that.
Okay.
You just kind of you make your fingertips
Yeah.
touch. You just go down and you touch, fingertips touch. So if your fingertips touch, then you know you're going low enough, right? So that was you could do that to measure it just to make sure every rep counts. So even you just touch fingertips. Then you do a 100 no pause. So you got to figure, the pace on these things are interesting because what you do, and I would do these little tricks. I would kind of start with a somewhat decent pace faster. And then as I started to burn, I would slow it down, but I wouldn't stop. I just slow the pace down and I just kind of ease into it. And the burn would kick in a little bit, then I'd speed it up a little bit again, speed it up. So I shift, and then that kind of shifts the burn around. See, there's some weird and that's kind of how I would do it. Once I start burning, then I shift it and I change it pace, but I keep moving, right? And then it will get to a point where it's just completely burning and it's almost numb, and you just keep going. And you just kind of work through that, the mental side of it. And so,
I don't think I could do 100 consistent. I think I probably break it up in increments of 25 and 4.
well, I think you could definitely do 50 and it would suck, but I think you get 50. I think you should try that for real. Well, because 25, I think with
Yeah,
you,
that's
if you
easy.
did 25, what'll happen is you'll hit probably about 20. It'll start to burn a little
Yeah.
bit, and then you'll stop at 25. So you're barely tapping into that. You know what I mean? I think once you get to about 40 is when that burn's going to kick in hard, really hard, and you're going to want to quit, and you push it through for the last 10. And then you just work from there.
Okay,
So
I'm
we're
gonna
good.
try this in the comfort of my own home and
Try it.
spare myself a little bit of dignity
Yeah. Oh, no.
in
Yeah.
the
Let
event
me
of a
know.
failure.
Last time I had to do that was boot camp. They caught me with my hands in my pockets.
Oh
Oh,
shit.
Yeah, it
nice.
was like the only time I really got busted for anything. I had to do 100. They timed me. I think it was air squats. I had to do 100 in a certain amount of time. I
Oh, really?
barely got it, and they left me alone. But it was like 2 weeks till we graduate. Like, oh, Hodges, we haven't busted him for anything. So they just started watching me. As soon as my hand went in my pocket, they fucking came out after me. It was like 100 air squats, and they had their watch and they were timing me and shit. But
Air squats. I don't think I got busted for air squats, but I
no, I did air squats.
yeah,
I got busted for putting my hands in
yeah.
my pockets. Yeah,
But then hmm.
Didn't they used to call burpees bodybuilders?
8 count bodybuilders. Yeah,
It was 8 count
but you did
bodybuilders.
you
Yeah.
split your legs, put them together, and did a
Right.
push up.
Because that's what we did in Coast Guard boot camp. We were
Yeah,
doing those. They didn't call them burpees. They call them bodybuilders.
yeah,
Nah, man, I was in chair force. We just did straight up
Yeah.
push-ups, sit-ups, and pull-ups.
and 4 day weekends.
Yeah, I was Air Force too, but first, right? You know what's funny? I remember Coast Guard though. There was that one day these our drill instructors they were really trying to test everybody, and I think I told this story, and they were making us do push-ups, right? And they were making us pause at the bottom, right? Just kind of hold, and then they would start counting again, and then boom, 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 count whatever. I forget what the rep count was, maybe 10, and then they would go up, down,
Yeah.
and they would just say down, and just say, and they would watch everybody, and anybody who just kind of gave out, they would say, "Get up, get up, get out of here," and they would have them stand there. So what they were doing was they were slowly eliminating everybody out of the group, right? And then um I don't know how long we were there for, but I was I was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna quit." You know what I mean? I was like, "No ways." And so when it was done, I think there was like three of us that was left, and I was one of them. Surprisingly enough, I was one of them. I was pretty good at that time. I was really good at push-ups and pull-ups and everything, even though I was bodybuilding. And then when I was getting ready to join, I was doing a lot of body weight stuff and everything. So I could do probably like 30 pull-ups straight at the time at about 225 pounds, which was pretty good.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It's pretty crazy. But I was also, what was I, like 20? I was like 28 years old, 27. I was pretty young. So yeah, so I survived that though. They couldn't break me.
Yeah.
I remember I could hear him breathing right there, standing behind me, just looking at me, just watching me, trying to
See,
see if I'll break.
I try to prepare prior to going into boot, or basic or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So I was pretty good with my push-ups, sit-ups, and pull-ups, and I was practicing those. But to do cardio, the running, I just super
The
sucked at
running
that.
sucked.
Yeah. So
Right.
I barely passed the running part of my boot test, but I remember we were at like the final couple of weeks prior to graduation, and you had to do your PT test, right, prior to graduating. Um, I was popping out a lot of push-ups, and then our brother Flight Ti, like head to head with me. He was like, "Come on, boot out!" He's like yelling. He's like, "Come on, that's all you got. That's all you got." I was like, "Oh fuck, I'm not, I'm not gonna fag out now. I got the,
Yeah.
I got the Ti going like head forehead, head to head with
Yeah.
me. It's like, damn,
Did you guys have the anklets to time you on the run?
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, when he was head to head with me, as much as I wanted to be like, I already surpassed my whatever magical number that I needed, and he just, come on, keep going, keep going, keep going. It's like, fuck, man. Of all the people, you had to go pick on this brown girl, the little brown
Well,
girl.
you probably must have been pretty decent for him to do that. You know what I mean? Because they're gonna pick on people. Typically, if you're in shape, they know
Mhm.
you can handle it, right? So, especially if that was towards the ending,
Yeah.
So yeah, I hated the run. I never liked the run, and honestly, I think I said it before, was when we were doing our run, I think it was a mile and a half.
Mm-hmm.
My only goal was to beat all the girls because there was a sister flight, right? It was all females. And I remember there was one girl, she was a runner. She was a decent runner. And I was like, okay, that girl is a pretty good runner. Because we used to all run together, right? And I was like, okay, I just got to beat that girl. Just don't, because if I don't beat the girl, I know they're gonna be yelling at me, right? And I know they're gonna give me shit for it. So I said, all right, and I did. I beat her, not by much, but I did beat her.
You know how bad I was at the run? My flight chief was a runner.
Yeah.
She's a marathon runner, whatever. So she did her mile and a half. She came back, and then she went back to catch like every other girl that was like lagging.
Okay.
So I was like one of the last.
Really, really, wow,
Yeah, because I just hated running. I don't know. So
surprising.
she
Wow,
came
yeah,
back. I wasn't the last, but I was just like, oh my
yeah.
God, I am not going to be last. But I do remember her. Like we were calling her Frankie because her last name was some long
Oh,
French
okay.
name, so we called her Frankie instead. And I was like, oh, this is pretty pathetic that she had to come and pick me up and motivate me my ass
Drag you
all the way.
back there. So you've never been good at running? That was never your
Sprints,
thing?
but
Yeah.
distance.
Oh, so more of a
hmm
power runner, huh?
I enjoyed sprints, but like
Yeah,
distance running, forget it, dude. If I got chased by a dog or by cops,
you're
I'll just
done.
be like, just arrest me. Just take me out of my misery. I'm done. I'm not
So
gonna
what
run.
would be considered distant, like a mile or longer, or like a 400, 800, like any, what would be your,
Well, before,
yeah,
um, anything past about a mile, 2 miles, I'm like, yeah,
it's over.
yeah.
Okay.
But I like it's weird. My brain's crazy. After I got out of boot, and I was just like, I hate running so much. I'm gonna learn to love it. So then I started to run like 3 miles, and then like
Mhm.
once a week I'd run like a 6 mile thing, and then I
Oh,
started to
you did
enjoy it.
6 miles.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay, that's
yeah.
pretty good. That's pretty good because honestly, I think If I was running, it'd be like maybe 3 would be the most that I would ever do.
It
I
wasn't fast, but it was just like, okay, we're
yeah.
gonna. That's my moment to talk to Jesus. Whatever. You find that
Yeah.
stride,
Well, you
right?
get in the zone,
Yeah,
right? The runner's high, I
yeah.
guess. Yeah.
Was that Jen?
If you can do 4 to 6 without bitching, you're good.
Yeah.
I think I got up to 6 when I was
6
in. Yeah,
miles.
I could do 4 easily, and then we would do the crazy runs. We would do 6. I was fine, but 4 I could easily do. You know why I stopped running? Because I was still fat. Everybody thought, oh, running, running. And I did all this running. I was still fat. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
So I just went back to the gym.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
see.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. Again, running, because what I was saying earlier, running is not the solution for dropping body fat.
You burn your
You
muscle,
burn your muscle.
not your
You would have been
fat.
better off doing 45 to an hour on that treadmill, incline,
Incline.
steady state,
Yeah.
right? Instead of running. You would have lost more body fat that way.
But at that time, the mainstream thing was
Was
running.
running,
Yeah.
yeah. Everybody thinks running, right?
And it's so bad for your knees, man,
I
running.
know.
Get that disability.
There was a huge movement, right? In the 80s, running movement. It was very big.
You know why? We got like, Rocky Balboa and what's his face running on the beach all like
Apollo
sexy and shit.
Creed, yeah.
They
See,
ruined
but
it.
that was different running though. That okay. All glistening with the baby oil. I mean, this
Glistening,
was the 80s, man. Let's be honest.
sexy as
They baby
hell.
oiled the shit out of those guys. Um,
Pamela Anderson on that
yeah, oh
run on the
yeah.
beach.
Oh, Dave Hasselhoff, man.
David had
Greatest actor
he made
ever.
it all sexy.
David, greatest TV actor ever, David Hasselhoff. Shit. Yeah, they did. They did. They sure did. I think what those 80 montage,
Mm-hmm.
that's a big thing. You ever go on YouTube and see some of those? They're pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I get hyped up sometimes. I watch them. The Rocky 4 one is the best one ever, to be honest. Rocky 3 is decent, but Rocky 4 phenomenal. If you guys never saw it, look it up. Rocky 4 training montage.
It's
It's
crazy. Like the
amazing.
fitness movement in the 80s is crazy. Like all of the jazzercise and like
Yes.
all the
Aerobic,
aerobics.
jazzercise, running,
That was huge.
so big. So big. And that's kind of when all the workout, I want to say, especially female workout outfits started coming out,
Mm-hmm.
right? They were doing a lot of different things instead of just your typical runner shorts. They had the leotards and yeah, it was really big. But bodybuilding wasn't it wasn't that big in the 80s. It was still there was people doing it, and they would air it on TV, which was interesting. They would air bodybuilding shows on TV. The Mr. Olympia was aired on TV every year. But the mainstream people weren't into bodybuilding or lifting like that type of training.
No, and even like with Arnold and remember they used to have that fitness whatever at
Council.
Ala Beach Park with Keanu Tom
Oh,
and like Arnold was on there
well,
a bunch of
Gilad too. You remember Gilad?
yeah, you see and
Gilad and Kiana. Yeah, you're right. Kiana Tom used to do the. Was that here or was that in LA? I
oh
think that was.
they did a couple
They
over
did a
here at
couple.
Ala Beach Park at Magic Island and they were like
Okay.
Diamond Head was in the background.
Yes. Yeah. Rick Valenti and Kiana Tom and yep. And then Sean Ray. Well, that was in the 90s though.
Hmm.
Sean Ray had his own flex bodybuilding, flex training or something. And Lee Haney had his own too. Totally awesome.
I know.
He had his blonde co-host. It was the
How can we revive that kind
yeah,
of like exercise and fitness all over and not just
yeah,
bodybuilding?
right. Yeah, I mean, well, now they have CrossFit and then High Rocks, right? You ever heard of it?
High Rocks, what's that?
Oh man.
I've been out of the loop.
Come on now. No. Um, you know what? It's a spin-off of CrossFit, but it's
So
more running.
spin-off CrossFit, like how the F45, but different.
Yeah, kind of like
That's
that. It's similar stuff, right? They do all the wads and everything, but they have more running in it. A lot
okay.
more running in it. Yeah. I don't honestly I watched a little bit here and there. I seen a little bit of it and I was like, okay, it kind of reminds me of CrossFit, but it isn't exactly the same, but it's very, very similar. I think they took a bunch of the exercises out though, maybe they do, but running is the base of it. That's the big part of it is running. So, and the athletes look like CrossFit athletes still. So, yeah, I don't know if it's bigger than CrossFit right now. It might be actually because CrossFit kind of died out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think on the island there might be maybe there's like 10 CrossFit places now, 10 or 11. At one point there was like 30, you know.
There's a box everywhere.
There's a I should make a shirt. There's a box. um there's what's funny, there's about 30 or so jujitsu schools here on the island, which is crazy. So if you go back 10 years ago, there was, maybe half that. So jujitsu is interesting. That's really picking up steam. A lot of people are doing it, but they don't stick with it too long. Most people don't. About a year
I,
or
I
two.
think I think more people are more likely to stick to jujitsu just because it is what it is,
Yeah.
less of CrossFit because of the injuries. That's just personal opinion, I think.
Yeah. I mean, you can get injured in both, right?
Hmm.
Jujitsu. But then again, yeah, jujitsu, you can kind of pace it out a little better. CrossFit, you got a time, you got to beat this time. Go push, 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 and your form goes out of whack, but you're trying to beat your time. In jiu-jitsu, if you go up against somebody who's better than you and they're better, I mean, the reality is it's unless you do something silly, you're not, you know, he's just going to beat you.
Yeah,
And you just tap. It's like, okay, you're better. You tap, done. You just keep moving.
reset. Yep.
Reset, keep going, keep going. Lower risk of getting injured. And like I said, unless you're an idiot, you want to be stubborn, and you don't tap, then that's where you're getting hurt. But if you do tap for the most part, you should be okay. The cardio is phenomenal. Yeah, you know, stretching.
Do you think jujitsu phase is gonna be a thing as well too, and it's gonna start to dwindle down and peter out?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of wondering if it is or not. Because that seems to happen with a lot of things, right? Jiu-jitsu's been around for a long time though,
Yes.
and it's just that there's a lot more people that are interested in it. So it's not like it's a new fad. You have the core people who have been doing it forever, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Um, there's a lot of people that have been doing it for 20 plus years. So I don't know. I kind of wonder if it's gonna grow to a certain point and maybe just hold that, you know, because the good thing about it, right, is you can use it for self defense. It's great cardio. You do it in a group setting, so you get to create friendships, meet other people, you know, kind of like how CrossFit. Um, and there's all different kind of people that are doing it. You got the construction guy, you got the doctor, you got the school teacher, you got the student, all in the same room. You guys are training together. And you're not just training, right, as you're in the gym lifting weights. You're actually literally training together. So it's a little different feeling.
Camaraderie is a lot,
It goes a little deeper,
yeah,
right?
deeper.
And then there's a different level of respect because I don't know if you can tap somebody, if you beat them, they know, oh, this person beats me every time. He's got higher skill level than me, or he's better. There's a little different level of respect there than just maybe being stronger or being able to finish the wad faster than somebody else. I don't know. It's different, right? So we'll have to see. We'll have to see in the next 10 years if it's a fad or not. Because is F-45 still a thing, or did that start slowing down?
I think it started to slow down a bit ago.
Did, right?
Yeah.
So, because that I know for a minute. Do you remember when the the boot camps, like the boot camp thing, the booty boot camp or just boot camps were really big, right? And that was like back in like 20, I don't know, 2013, 14, 15. It was so popular. And you go and all these places would offer that course. And now I don't even hear about them anymore, right?
Yeah.
So that went because F-45 came in, and I think F-45 is what kind of killed that. I don't think F-45 took the place of CrossFit. CrossFit just died on its own because people got tired of getting hurt. F-45 F-45 was a different thing. And it kind of brought all those people from the booty classes into F-45. But now where are all those people going from the F-45? What are they doing now?
And Orange Theory was another trend as well too that took place
Yes.
just
Orange Theory.
momentarily.
Yes.
Yeah.
That wasn't that big though.
Nah.
There was 3 or 4 of them on island though.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was one over here around the Kakako area.
Yeah, yeah.
Apahulu too.
Yeah.
So I don't I don't know what's gonna be. I mean, like I said,
What's
what
the
is the
next
next thing?
trend? What's the
What is the
next
next
thing?
fitness trend, right?
And as far as you guys being trainers and everything like that, are you guys like hip to it and keen to it, or just gonna do what you guys do and just keep your lifestyle clients because they're the most consistent?
Yeah, I just honestly, I just train people how I train myself. A lot of times, if they're my age, then I'm going to train them like me. Well, I mean, close to it. I'm like, hey, this works great. I know this works fantastic. You're how old? 50 years old. Well, this program works good. That's what we're going to do. Or if a guy's on a bodybuilder, well, I know how to bodybuild. All right, we'll do bodybuilding. So that, yeah, I don't need any trendy thing. I do look into it. That's the thing. Anything that's trendy, I definitely look into it. I'm always curious. I like to see something new because you never know. Something might be interesting to see, but overall, yeah, not really changing my programming of what I know. But I'm always evolving though. I
Mhm.
always switch things here and there, or let me try something a little different, because I like to change it up too. So
Jed, you of all of us three, amongst all of us three, you have the most consistent lifestyle clients, right?
Yeah, probably.
So do you think they're the ones that would probably they're not really into the trends, into the whole bodybuilding scene or anything like that? The ones that are probably most loyal to you would stick with you for the long run? Your best customer, I should say.
It, no, like the reasons they stay, it just varies. Some people just that's their thing after work to stay in shape. Some people just want to come and vent after work. Some people join the group and reach the goal. And they say, you know what, I like training with these guys. I'll keep coming back. I've had people in the group for fucking 4 or 5 years. You know, um, Contest prep. I got a few guys that take on and off for contest prep. Um, I did do the group thing once. When I was at Powerhouse, I had an agility class, and it was a lot of fun. I started as a PT prep class, I think, for people in the military that couldn't pass their PT test. And I actually wrote a whole 8 to 10 week curriculum. If you did not know how to do anything, we start here, and in 10 weeks, we're going to be here. And it started with like doing TRX to learn how to do push ups and working closer to the ground. I had this whole
mm,
thing I wrote. And the guys would come in. What I did was it was a cheap rate for the month. And if you were my client, you could come for free. So instead of doing their cardio, they would come do that. And then the class looked full, and then other people would pay to get in there. And then I would pull clients from that class because people eventually want to work with me one on one.
mhm.
So it was actually one of the only like business strategies I did actually fucking worked. But yeah, I mean, that was the only group type thing I did. But yeah, the lifestyle clients are the ones that stay a while, and like it could be various reasons. The ones I have now, they just come because that's part of their day.
Mhm. Yeah, no, that's cool. I think a lot of people just want that. They want that direction, or they want to be held accountable, right?
Yeah.
And not necessarily want to achieve a lot of goals. Maybe they just want to do. Well, I know I should be exercising 2 days a week, and I got my trainer, and I'm good.
Like for me, I was primarily like contest prep. That was my thing. I really, really, really enjoyed contest prep. But after doing it for a while now, I'm pretty burnt out from it. And I think in the point of time in my life with the way that everything is going as well too, it seems like I may start just doing lifestyle clients again.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
okay.
tiring contest prep, you know?
Well, you're much more in touch, right? You have to. There's follow-ups, there's check-ins, there's every week, there's random texts, there's sometimes there's a phone call. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, so it's like
Yeah, you're dealing
yeah,
with their emotions, their
yes,
personality, everything that's stressing on in their entire life, and
mhm,
then you end up being like a counselor and a like a everything to them. You're not just contest prep coach anymore.
yeah, psychology 101, man. You got you become a kind of a part-time therapist in a way,
Yeah.
right?
So I mean, I enjoy it. It's so fun to see the transformation that they go through, and they're happy, we're happy, everybody wins, even if it you don't win a trophy. They've accomplished something fantastic in their life. But however, consistency and just longevity of the yourself, the sport and everything else. I know, maybe I might go back to lifestyle.
Hey, maybe you never know. You can do some of these body weight workouts. Put them through some of the body weights. I always I always added weights though. You gotta, my thing is never stop lifting weights. No matter what age you are, keep lifting weights. And I just don't do as much volume, but I still lift weights, and I'll always lift weights. I think it's important to definitely do some type of weight resistant, external weight resistant for sure. Just be smart, be smart about it. And but
Well, that's the thing as well too, like as far as lifestyle clients, you're helping them to maintain some strength or acquire a little bit. It's not actually bodybuilding, so you don't have to really like tweak like, hey, we really need to build up your shoulders, or whatever it is. Like get more quad line separations and we'll
yeah,
really drill into that. Or you as a coach need to figure out like, all right, what on this guy is not connecting because we're not getting there where we need to be.
mhm.
Lifestyle coaching, I mean, I'm just saying it. Yeah, there's some effort and thought that's put in between it, but then it's not as, you know,
I mean, it's way more chill. Let's be
mhm.
honest. And I was, I think all of us had it, but you get that client who it's kind of funny. You train them lifestyle. Initially, they come in, they got little goals, so you train them for a while. They seem to kind of achieve maybe, or they're getting pretty good, and they kind of slows down, right? And they don't say much, and you still train them pretty good, and then it could be a year or 2 years later, and then for whatever reason, maybe after the weekend, something happened. I don't know. They went to a party or they saw something, and they're hyped now. You've been training this person for a couple of years, and all of a sudden they're hyped. Man, I want to lose 30 pounds, man. We need to get on this, and
30.
well, I mean, like maybe
Yeah.
that's the long term goal. And looking at you, like, I'm ready to do this. And I'm looking at them like, dude, like, I've been telling you this for 2 years, bro, but you don't want to do it. So I just do what you want to do. I mean, I just train you and I just let you go. And I've given you all the tools and I tell you what to do. You're not doing it. They get super hyped and I go, all right. Oh, you want me to revise your diet plan? Have you been following it? Well, I mean, not quite. Okay. So do I have to revise it? Maybe you should follow it. Go back to actually following it, see what happens. Or we can even cut back then. How about we cut back on the food? Something, whatever. And I get that. And then say 4 or 6 weeks later, back to it again. It's the same routine. It's like a marriage. I promise, honey, I'll do better. And then 6 weeks later, no more date nights. That's just what it is,
6
right?
weeks is pretty good. 6 weeks is
6 to
pretty
8 weeks. I feel
good.
like that seems to be the window for a lot of people. They'll maybe get to about there, and then they kind of just start fading again. Life takes over, and then they're busy working. Then they don't talk about it anymore. They're busy talking about work and all these other things, and you're like, oh, okay, he's done worrying about that. We're back to it again. He lost 7 pounds, 8 pounds, and that was it. Like, okay, fine. He'll gain it all back though. You know, if he doesn't follow, that's the thing about lifestyle. A lot of times, I mean, and you and I had talked about this earlier, you're either in or you're not, right? Because halfway in, what does it get you? It gets you half the results, if half the results, sometimes not even any results. So if you really want to get better, you got to really go all in and you got to put that work in, right? Because some people are like, well, I don't want to really go all in, but I'll do half. And it gives you just a little taste, but you never quite get it. It almost feels like you didn't get much. So you got to go all in if you want to really do it, right? And that takes time. And that could be a
Mhm.
while. It could take 6 months, maybe, somebody wants to drop 20 pounds.
Yeah, but not everybody has that kind of goal. So it depends on what your goal, your client's goal is, or like the niche market that you're trying to address. I was just one of my sisters, she's a activities coordinator at a country club in Medford.
Mm.
So there's a bunch of seniors and she could anything's an activity from hula, just learning like
Yeah,
whatever. All it is they just need to move. They sign up for the classes. She gets paid by the person or like whatever. And I'm like, damn, that's a good gig.
sounds like it.
Shit, I
Yeah,
could do that.
that sounds like
Activity
it.
director. I was like, let's do poop for today. I don't know,
right?
something. Yeah.
That's pretty chill. You just come up with stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad at all. You can have them do Zumba. You remember Zumba? There's another one.
And then we can go back to the whole body weight stuff, right? Moving around, Tai Chi,
Oh
and
yeah, Tai
anything.
Chi.
Get these older people to
Oh
just
yeah,
move, and that's all that's on their agenda. Their
yeah.
goal is to move for that day.
Even power yoga, man. Power yoga. You know, they do the ones with the weights now, right? They
Yeah,
do. What is that? What's it called?
I
Is
have
it
no
called
idea.
power cardio or something like that? And they have like light weights, 10-pound dumbbells, whatever. But they do these iso holes and they do like hundreds of reps throughout the whole thing.
Jeez.
They'll just keep doing curls and then
Mm-hmm.
shoulder press and then a lot of the guys, the bigger guys, go in there and they die, right? Because it's just basic cardio. So burns.
Yeah.
You got 10-pound dumbbells, you're just dying after a while. Yeah. So
There's a niche market for everybody if you want
there's
to
oh
get back
yeah.
into it.
Oh for sure.
So, what's the next trend here in Hawaii?
Yeah, what is it? Hula. We're gonna do we're gonna I mean, like it's well, you know what the thing about hula is it's still more of a I mean, there are probably I guess casual hula places, but I feel like for the most part it's not like that. I feel like if you go to a halal, it's serious, right? Like you go to halal, that's real hula.
But you go to a country club, that's
They
exercise.
can teach you, yes. They can do hula cardio, you
You
know.
see?
I'm surprised that's not a thing yet. That never became a thing.
Hey, you watch your mouth, sir. It's gonna become a thing.
Somebody's going to capitalize
You
and
watch.
they're not. And are they going to be from Hawaii? I don't know.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably, right? And then everybody's going to complain about them.
And be like, Mark,
Like,
that
you're
fucker.
not even from Hawaii. Brah, he's not even from Hawaii, this fucker. See, goes the picture. Yeah, I don't know. What you know what? Hawaii surfing, right? They have the tourists come here and they do the surfing and the practicing the paddle boards. That's another
Don't
one.
they? Alamana Beach Park, right? They have that
Yeah,
yoga, paddle board
they
yoga,
do
or whatever it
on the
is.
paddleboard. Yeah, they do at nighttime or whatever.
Somebody capitalized on it. See?
Yeah,
So sky's the limit.
you can make up something, anything you want. There's always a way. Exercise, move.
Too bad I'm not that creative. But
Mm,
speaking of creative, as far as you giving up bodybuilding as a sport, sacrificing years and years and years of either living the bodybuilder's life or living a life as a young father or a bachelor or whatever, what have you. y- You have any regrets giving it up?
giving up the bodybuilding lifestyle
Yeah,
or doing it,
giving it
or
up.
just no, no, I really don't. There was things that I didn't accomplish or that I felt looking back, oh, I wish I had maybe accomplished that. But then again, in my mind, I go, well, the mindset that I have, it probably wasn't going to happen. Unfortunately, I just didn't have maybe the right mindset and maybe the right timing. Things were going on in my life at the time. So it just wasn't, the timing wasn't right. And that's why it didn't happen. It didn't go the way maybe I really wanted it to go. But I definitely don't regret it. I don't regret doing it, and I don't regret now moving on from it. Um, I feel very satisfied actually as far as where I'm at now, as far as moving forward. I'm not sitting on there dwelling on it a lot. Like I said, sometimes I think, oh man, yeah, that would have been nice. Would have been nice maybe to, do this show or win this show, or I would have done things a little differently. I would have planned it a little differently, but overall, there's no regrets. So yeah, so going back to it, yeah, no, I don't, I don't have any regrets either way.
I mean, you did well for yourself as far as establishing Iron Hawaiian Fitness and the return on investment on that. So
Yeah,
yeah, it,
that
it all worked out for you.
Yeah, that worked out really well. And, I was able I think that's probably maybe that's why I don't dwell on it a lot because I did take the bodybuilding and I turned it into a gym, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same field. I use my knowledge, all my training, and I'm still doing it to this day. I'm still training people and I still, you know, do bodybuilding with some clients here and there. I still train people for some shows. So yeah, so it did work out for me in that sense and I did built the bodybuilding gym, right? So, but it's funny because I just again I don't. have a desire to bodybuild anymore. And I do still keep up with it. Obviously, I still keep up. I still watch the highlights. I still see who's winning the big shows. And when I watch certain clips and certain things about bodybuilding, I still get excited. There's certain things I'm like, oh, this is cool. Or especially when they have things that, related to the 90s or the early 2000s, that stuff. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's cool because it's very nostalgic to me. It reminds me of when I was competing and training. So I can relate to it a lot. And then I'm always curious to see what the new guys are doing. So is there something new? Is there something better? What's going on? Yeah. So definitely bodybuilding's fun. I still enjoy it, but regrets, I'm good.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat as you. There was a few years that I just went hard, sacrificed everything, accomplished the things, and then, you know, I already knew that bodybuilding wasn't gonna make me the kind of money that I need, I
Yeah.
want. So, mindset perspective has shifted, but now, everything else come full circle. Like I still love it. I still enjoy it. Still like watching the highlights just as much as you do and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. I mean, it's part of my life that I don't think I would ever, ever, ever give up completely and just be like, oh, I'm done and not step another day in the
Right.
gym or exercise.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a thing, but
Yeah. I'm probably always gonna know who the current Mr. Olympia is, for bodybuilding. Let's get that clear. For men's physique and classic, I don't think so. But bodybuilding for sure, I'll always know, because that I keep up with it every year when the Olympic comes on. Who's the bodybuilding champion? Because that was my thing, right? Bodybuilding, that's what I did. That's what I love. Classic is cool, but not quite bodybuilding to me.
yes, I think that's my message as well too for like the people that are coming up in the ranks, just especially there's a show coming up here, right? In 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't, not to say do or don't be in a rush, but in all its perfect timing, it'll work out the way that it does. It does take away from your family a lot.
Mhm.
Um, it is a selfish sport. I mean, what's it gonna get you? A trophy? It doesn't make you money, so pick and choose your battles.
Yeah, that's it. I agree with you. And you could be the one guy who makes money. You never know. There's
Yep.
there's that there's always that one person here and there that makes a killing. So you never know. If you love it, I say do it because you love it. Don't do it
Yes.
because it's for money. Because if you do it because you're for money, you should probably go to law school or become a doctor. You might be better off doing that. You
Yeah.
you can put just as many hours into doing that as you do bodybuilding, and the payout is much better. So
Yes.
yeah,
On that note, yeah.
right on. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us, and we will be back next week with Paradise Pump. Aloha.